Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of our series. Today we're going to talk about the Maya Auto Remesher, which, as I know in the last video I mentioned that automatic remeshing is not the best idea, and again, it's usually not going to give you the best result, but it can definitely speed up certain parts of the process, especially for parts like this or for assets like this where topology can be a little bit tricky. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to duplicate this object. I'm going to Shift P to get it out of the main section. I'm going to hide the original one so that we don't mess with it. I'm going to grab this guy. Let's hide this other one, the retopologized one. I'm going to grab this one. And Maya now has an interesting retopologized tool, which it intends to be this sort of easy way out of the retopology process to just to save a lot of time. One of the things that I do like about this one, I'm going to remove this keep original so that we don't keep it. We're just going to destroy this one to get the new retopology one. I am going to try to preserve the hard edges. Let's see. Well, let's start without that one first. Actually, let me reset the settings. There we go. This is the basic settings. So as you can see, by default, it tries to go to a specific type of target, which in this case is 1,000 polygons. I don't think 1,000 is enough for this one, so I'm going to go to 3,000 polygons. Okay. This means that for this technique, we're not going to be using the smooth option because that's going to give us double that amount, and we don't want that. Or we can try to 1,500, something like this. Now, tolerance is the tolerance within that specific margin, so it can go 150 faces up or down, depending on if it needs to or not. And that's it. We just hit apply, wait for this to finish, and look at this. We get this interesting effect. The problem with this, as you can probably see, is first of all, symmetry is non-existent. We don't have any sort of symmetry. All of these things right here, like the topology is flowing everywhere. And one of the things that I hate about this is that we get some things called spirals. There we go. Look at that. This line that you're seeing right here, this is called a spiral. And the problem with this spiral is that we get this really weird looking effect. Now, this doesn't mean that the tool doesn't work. It works, but not for all of the things that we might think. For instance, we have the handle right here, right? Very simple handle. It's just a cylinder. When we, there we go. When we're doing this, it's just a cylinder that has a little bit of curvature. Well, this is a perfect target for that sort of thing because, yes, of course, we could grab the quadro tool and draw the cylinders and stuff, but since this is such a simple shape, it's a lot easier to just go mesh. We go retopologize. In this case, we do want to keep the original, and I don't even think we need 15,000. Probably something like 600 faces should be more than enough. And then we hit apply, and we wait. Look at this. We get this very nice, cylindrical looking thing. And as long as we don't get any spirals, which in this case we don't, this is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. And if we compare it again, I think it, there we go. It hides it. For some reason, it moved it up. It's because of the transformations. Let's bring this back down. You can see this is going to perfectly match what we have right here. And we could even use a conform. If we select this guy and then select the low poly, we can say mesh. We can conform. It's going to give us an even closer match to the whole thing. So this handle right here, this is perfect. This is done. And again, if we at any point need to reduce the amount of polygons, very easy trick is to just, in this case, through the vertical axis, we just skip one and select one edge loop like this. Okay, all of these guys, we select them. Now this works because, again, this object is not going to deform. It's always going to be a solid, like a wooden stick, right? If this object was going to deform, bend, or something like that, then we need to be a little bit more aware of the topology. For this particular one, not really. So we just delete that, and we just went from 800 faces to 688. So this is perfectly fine. And I could even reduce some of these lines right here. I don't want to do it right now because it's going to create a little bit of a mess. But you can see how the automatic retopology process could potentially be really useful for things like this. One of the things that you might be seeing here is, hey, what happened to the color? Why does it look green? Green is Maya's way to display that you have an issue with your topology. And the way to fix it is very easy. You just go right-click, assign existing material, and you assign the Lambert one. Now, see how all of these guys have so many materials? That's because for some reason, when we brought in all of the elements, either assign one material to each element. That's something that I definitely do not want. So let me show you how to fix that real quick. We're going to go to the hypershade over here. You can see all of these materials right here. I'm just going to look for Lambert 1, which is the basic Maya material. It should be alphabetical. So T. Where is it? There we go, Lambert 1. So I'm going to select all of the objects, right-click the little sphere, and just say Assign Initial Shading Group to Selection. Now all of the elements, as you can see right there, let's select this one as well, have the same like a basic material, and then I can go to Edit, Delete Unused Nodes. And that's going to delete all of the materials that we don't need. As you can see, we only have the Lambert 1. That's also going to have or make the software a little bit faster because it doesn't have to think about all of those materials. We just think about what we have right here. So yeah, that's it, guys. So as you can see right here, this other X handle that we have over here, the retopologized one, that's perfectly fine. That's an excellent handle that we can use. Even like if I wanted to be even extra like precise, you can see that the inner side of the handle is not there. Like we don't see it. So the best thing we can do there, select these faces, delete them, and then delete this cap. That's going to save us a little bit of geometry and a little bit of texture space, which both of them are really, really important. I can also see the same like thing happening up here. So we just, let's see if we, okay, we don't have that. That's a spiral. The reason why I can't select that is probably because it's a spiral. So we just select this guys right here, delete, and those guys right there and delete. And this is pretty much just a cylinder with a couple of divisions, and we get this. Even if we needed to simplify this more, again, we could go to one of each individual lines right here, like this. Skip one and then select the next one, and we can do Control Delete. This is going to give us a super low poly mesh. This is only 272 points. I don't think we need to go that low. I think this is perfectly fine. Assign, we assign the Lambert material, and there we go. Now, one of the things, since that one is ready, like we're not going to have to redo it or anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to Shift P to get it out of the center right there. And I'm going to change its name. I'm going to call this X_handle_low because it's going to be my low poly. I'm going to Control G to create a group, and this group is going to be called Thyros retopologized meshes. There we go. So yeah, let's go for another piece like this guy's right here, which again, we could like manually retopologize, but let's give it a try and see how the retopologize tool works. Not great, see? Like one of the problems with this one is it softens things a little bit too much. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of automatic tools are not great, neither inside of Maya or inside of ZBrush, not even Blender. So just be careful. You can use them. They're not like wrong or bad. Sometimes when you're in a hurry, it's perfectly fine to use them. But be careful with those like retopology tools, because as you just saw there, they can create some issues where things don't look exactly as you might expect. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I'm gonna now move on to finishing this guy on the next video. We're gonna go traditionally with this guy. So I'm just gonna like surface that. Let's hide everything again. I'm gonna grab everything here and hit H to hide it. And then we can grab again the skull top and unhide it so that we can see it. There we go. Very important to save. As you can see, I have this retopology main file. I'm just going to save it there. And one of the best advices that I give my students is to always do increment and save. So file, increment and save, so that you have backups of your files, because one of the worst things that can happen is when your file gets corrupted and you need to start over. So from here, yeah, we're just going to continue with the school retopology. And once we finish this piece, we're going to jump into Blender, and I'm going to show you the tools that we have inside of Blender, because I know some people are more accustomed to the Blender workflow, and it actually has some really, really powerful, what's the word? Retopology tools. I even recommend my students that use Maya to jump into Blender for some parts of the retopology process, because it's really, really fast for some things. So yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Hang on tight, and I'll see you back on the next one. Bye-bye.